I gotta talk about something, because if you guys watch the game, they did this thing to kind of, they've always been very forward about like in social issues and things like that, right? Which is they wore shirts. They wore these shirts, says pay you what, that's why my title is what it is. It says pay us what you owe us, I believe it was. So I just want to be clear and kind of give my thoughts, because I'm gonna let y'all watch the video and then we're gonna go back to it, because I think it's important for us to have a real conversation about it. And yeah, so this is Aiden Ross, big streamer. He's done a lot for the streaming community. He's one of the OGs. But, sometimes you got to be honest with things and kind of give facts when they need to. Obviously, they're going through a negotiation with the WNBA right now about revenue sharing. And so they said, pay us what you owe us, right? Which is what they should. The players should be getting paid for their services. But the conversation on Twitter is kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like we got to talk about it. So I'm going to let y'all play. I'm going to play it so y'all can hear it. And then we're going to talk about it. I'm going to actually pause it so y'all can actually hear what he said.
What does that mean, pay us what you owe us? Are they saying that they're getting underpaid? Okay, so here's my take. Unless you're Caitlin Clark, you shouldn't ever be able to put on a shirt that says pay us what you owe us. Listen, I'll explain it to you ladies. And it's nothing against girls. People think I'm misogynistic and shit like that. I love women. I have sisters, I have a mother. I love women. But guys, let's be real here, okay? Your league makes no fucking revenue at all. It's probably a write-off for the NBA. I'm just being real here. I'm being real here. I'll tell you guys how it is. I don't really give a fuck.
So let's have a conversation about that, because I feel like there's a misconception as to what that actually means when they're saying pay that you owe us. And again, I'm going to just say it's out of ignorance instead of just actual facts. And I feel like there's too much misinformation online to be able to get that. First of all, there's a misconception that these women are asking for what the NBA get in terms of the actual monetary value. And that's not what they're asking for at all. Okay? That's not what they're asking for at all. First of all, it shouldn't matter if it's Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Nafisa Collier. People should get paid what they're owed, right? So let's have a real understanding of economics so that people can start actually understanding what these women are asking for. So this misinformation of, oh, the WNBA is not profitable, therefore they shouldn't be able to make money. Let's keep it clear, right? There's a lot of companies in Fortune 500. I know a lot of people haven't had jobs and haven't had to deal with corporate America, but there's a lot of companies that are not profitable year over year. They don't make profit year over year, yet and still, they still have to pay their employees. That is the law. They can't just decide to stop paying their employees because they didn't turn a profit that year. That's not how that works, okay? Aiden Ross, for example, has a cameraman that I'm sure he pays money. Just if he didn't make money off of that video, that does not mean he cannot pay his employee, okay? So it doesn't matter if the WNBA is not profitable year over year and the number is wildly misconstrued. It's not 50 million. It's like 10, right? But what the women are asking for, especially because there's already a new TV deal in place that will take that 10 million deficit and turn it into a 100 million profit. Because the TV deal alone is worth 150 or like 200 mil a year. Okay? Hi, Six. Thank you so much for the follow. Shout out to you, right? That's already worth 200 million a year. That starts next season. So what the WNBA players are asking for is to have an equal revenue split for their work, which is what every other professional sports leagues have. Okay? So, for the women, that means you want Caitlin Clark to get paid, right? I want Caitlin Clark to get paid, right? But guess what? If you buy a Caitlin Clark jersey right now, she does not get any money from that based on how the CBA is ran right now. So if you want Caitlin Clark to get paid, you should want the CBA to be renegotiated. Does everybody understand that? Okay? So they're asking for to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. They're asking for a equal amount. And I don't know if it's 50-50, 60%, whatever, 60-40, whatever it is. But the revenue sharing of the business, they're asking for a bigger piece of the pie that they're already attributing to. No professional sports league, whether men or women, is ever going to be successful without the players. I'm sorry. That's why the NBA locked out when the NBA players locked out. What was it, in 2013? I can't remember which year exactly, but the last time they got a TV deal, they locked out so that they would get a bigger revenue share. It's the same thing with the women. They want a bigger revenue share because right now, of the 100% pie that is the WNBA, the women, the players, only get about 9%. 9% of the revenue. So yes, pay these women what they're owed. It doesn't matter if it was men or women, any sports league. At the end of the day, if they are out here working, they're out here putting on a product that's obviously growing year over year. Hi, 24/7, how you doing? But yes, if they're out here putting in a work in of something that they're contributing to year over year, they should get paid what they're owed. They're not asking for millions of dollars. They would like just a livable wage based on the profession of the sport they had. Every women's sport league has went through this. So y'all don't remember when Serena and Venus Williams were out here fighting for women to get paid what they're owed for these professional tennis players. They ended up getting equal revenue sharing for them because they all also draw for the sport of tennis. The women's soccer team for USA did the same thing. Guys, this is normal. They need to get paid a actual, like, imagine if the NBA got paid 100%, or excuse me, 90% of the revenue, chat. 24/7, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Imagine if it was like that in the NBA. What do y'all think would happen? So, yeah. Shout out to the WNBA. Shout out to WNBA All-Stars. Shout out to the Stud Buds because I thoroughly enjoyed this entire All-Star weekend because of the access that you had to the players and the inside looks of it. The reason you can pay them what they're owed. The league is expanding 3 teams in the next 2 years, including 4 of the Valkyrie. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be up to, I believe it's going to be up to like 16 teams. So that's more revenue right there. So like, these women deserve to get paid a livable wage so that they are not forced to go overseas to make the millions of dollars that they are owed. They make millions going overseas, right? So, like, they're just asking for their work that they put in to get a bigger source of the revenue. And it's not their fault that the WNBA does not know how to market their teams properly and take advantage of that. Like, take advantage. Think about the Stud Buds, right? They've been going live every day. I think Marina and Sanaya have been going live too. There's multiple WNBA players that have been going live, right? But just this 72-hour Stud Buds All-Star Marathon, they've had like 20K in there every single time. 15 to 20K depending on the time. That is where the marketing goes. That's going to get the younger audience. Why? Because people love IRL streams. That's like the what's it, streaming university and stuff like that. Like, that's huge for the league. That's because that gives exposure to all the players. Caitlyn was on there multiple times. Like, literally, there's a inside joke that call Caitlyn, she can fix it. It don't matter what. And that's good for the league. That's good for the league. There's the Angel Reese, Dejonaire Carrington was on there a lot. Like, there's so many funny moments from their stream, and I suggest if you guys didn't watch it, go back and look at it because, my God, it was hilarious. Like, I'm not finna play. I'm about to get off, but I'm just kind of, giving a little tidbit of the day before we go. We're gonna start doing these more and more, right? But yeah, like, understand that I know the internet is weird and y'all like to have groupthink and this opinion, but if you don't know what you're talking about, I suggest you stop having these dumb takes. Okay, that's a dumb take from somebody who doesn't know how the WNBA work. And I know a lot of you guys are new to the WNBA. You're fans. You don't know exactly how the revenue works for that. And y'all hear them say, oh, pay us what you owe us. And you think they're asking for what the men are asking for, which technically they are. They're just but they're not asking for the millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're asking for a bigger share of the revenue that the business does make. And guess what? Just in case you didn't understand, the NBA was not profitable for at least 20 to 30 years before it turned a profit. So this is not normal for a new league at the same level that the WNBA is to have this problem, because it takes a lot to run a professional sports league. Anyways, that's my tidbit. Understand it or not, I would just say, before y'all take these numbers and run with it with people on the internet who have no idea what they're talking about, just, take some time to actually learn something, okay? All press ain't good press. Exactly, the NBA was getting out there. Like, yeah, they just got out the NBA. When Magic and Bird came in, that's when they started getting out the red. We act like that isn't something new. The WNBA has this year has a crazy profit, and this is before the TV deal. And this, to be honest, chat, the reason why it's growing, yes, Caitlin Clark is immensely popular. Angel Reese is immensely popular, but let me tell you why they're popular, more popular than ever than the Candace Parkers and the Skylar Diggins and all of that, right? You know why? Because this is that first year, the year that had Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Cameron Brink. That's the first year that they allowed NIL into college. People can get paid for their name, image, and likeness. These people who were immensely popular in college, which is where the bulk of women basketball fans reside, that turns into people wanting to keep following them because these people are chronically online. They have a presence. They have a huge presence that grows with the social media era. And therefore, when they go to the WNBA, people still want to follow them. So, like, that's more of that obviously Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has a huge thing to do with it. But that NIL is arguably the main reason why the WNBA is growing, because they are everywhere. They're getting paid in college when they're at their most popular, and people they're garnering fan bases, and they want to see what they're gonna do as they enter into the professional space. That's why the WNBA is growing at a rapid pace. It's been doing that since Aja Wilson came out, since Sydney Colson has been doing her thing online, and the Stud Buds is really gonna, because they went from like 30K, because I've been following them for a while. They went from the 30K to like 65, 70K on Twitch alone over the weekend. Their sub count went up crazy. Why? Because they show personalities of each of the WNBA players. It's the same thing that's happening with Sanaya and Marina. Like, all of that is being shown. So you're not wrong, but I think how long basketball took to hit the ground running, players weren't making a livable wage for the first 30 to 40 years. The WNBA makes loads of money. They make money. They're just not turning a profit over cost, right? So the reason why there's a problem, and the players are like, look, it's not their fault that the marketing of it is mismanaged. The marketing of the WNBA is majorly mismanaged. Hopefully with the new TV deal, it gets easier. But like, literally for the first 20 something years, people didn't know where they were going to be on TV, if they were on TV at all. These women college basketball hoopers are way more popular than people think. Juju Watkins, Hannah Hill Doggo, like Flau'jae Johnson, they're doing so many things, and they're getting paid with NIL, so they're constantly in your face. That's why it's growing. People who are casual basketball fans think it's just Caitlin Clark, and yes, she's immensely popular. All I'm saying is all these women deserve to get paid. If you want Caitlin to get paid, then you should want them to renegotiate that deal. Because right now, as many people are buying her jerseys, she's not getting paid for a dime of that. The WNBA gets to keep all of that revenue. And they've been having this conversation for years, and they are ready. This is the point where now this new CBA is going to go into place, and they will be turning profit next year, the WNBA. And that's already shown that it's popular, because guess what? The newest team in the WNBA, which is the Golden State Valkyrie, they have the best value of any sports team for women ever. So you can't say that, no, there's no market there for it. Y'all just don't understand the business. Y'all don't actually watch the WNBA for the game. Y'all watch it to be weird. Anyways, I'm not going to get more into it. That's just my little 2 cents on it. Show love to the WNBA. And again, stand with the players to make sure that they get paid what they're owed.